Top One Laddies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the custom card review. And in this video, compared to other videos, I'm going to do two separate archetypes. And, yeah. So, So this one is called Different Dimensions Archetype, where its main focus is to use the Banish Zone as the main gimmick of it. And so, let's go over the monsters, spells, and traps. First monster is... Wait. is this one. Different Dimension Swordsman. Sorry if I start coughing. I have a dry throat, first of all. So, it's a Earth level 7 warrior effect monster, where this card cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned by shuffle all cards from your Banish Zone and graveyard into the deck as possible. So basically, you could shuffle all of your, if you're trying to not deck out, or I don't know how to say it properly, just for content thing, I'll spell it out. DECK. Just to clarify. And let's move on. So, this card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. This card can attack all monsters your opponent controls per battle phases. During the end phase, if this card does not attack, you pay 500 life points, banish all cards on the field except the Different Dimension monsters. To the Banish Zone. And if you do, this card gains 500 attack and defense for each banished card by this effect. You can only use... yeah. Then we got 28 Eyes Dimension. Where it has the roll the dice theme. It's a dark level 4 spellcaster effect monster with 1,900 attack and 2,000 defense. Its effects are, if this card is normal or special summon, you can look into your opponent's hand and select one card from it, banish that selected card to the Banish Zone. If you do, this card gains that card's effects until the end of the turn. Once per turn, you can roll a dice and then activate it. 1 or 2, shuffle one card from your Banish Zone into the deck, and then inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent's life points. 3 or 4, destroy all cards from your opponent's shield to the graveyard. Their effects are negated until the end of the turn. 5 or higher, this card cannot be tributed unless it is for a Different Dimension monster. This card is sent. If this card is sent to the grave, You can banish 2 other cards from your graveyard, except this card. Special summon this card from or to your field in defense mode. You can only use each effects of this card for once per turn. So, yeah. Because the reason why it has so many effects is because it has 28 eyes and it could do a couple things. Sorry if my voice is kind of weird. So then now we move on to the different dimension Ice Golem. He's a water level 6 monster, rock effect monster, where if you control this, or if you control a different dimension monster or monsters, or any water type or any water attribute monster, on the field, you can special summon this card to your field in attack mode without any tributes. This card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects and cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. This card gains attack equal to the damage instead of your life points. Once per turn, you can shuffle 3 cards from your banish zone into the deck. You gain 4,000 life points. So, what it means is basically your opponent inflicts damage, or like basically inflicts attacks onto this card. But it has basically, it gets like punched, but it becomes stronger. And I'm sorry. So now we got Twin Eyes Dimension. It has a lot of effects, so yeah. I am sorry. So, the Twin Eyes Dimension is a spell cowherd, or no, is a spellcaster monster. Hold on. Sorry. So, yeah. So now this is, where were we? Oh, yes. And I'm sorry that my throat was a little bit weird. And also, the dogs were barking. So, yeah. That's why I had to take a time out before. So, yeah. Now, basically, let's make sure. Yeah. So, Sorry for a volume warning. So, where were we? Oh, yes. So, this is Twin Eyes Dimension, Dark, level 4, Spellcaster Effect Monster with 200 attack and 2,900 defense. And it has this effect where you basically special summon this card, or normal summon it. You look into your opponent's deck, select 3 cards from it, banish them to the banish zone. If you do, then this card gains 2,000 attack points for each just banished card by this effect, and then your opponent must reveal their hand to you, even if this card leaves the field. This card can attack all monsters on the field and your opponent. So basically, per battle phase. If this card destroys a monster and sent it to the graveyard, this card gains the destroyed monster's effects, and also it gains that destroyed monster's attack and defense, and then attack points until the end of the turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage from involving this card, and if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Special summon all destroyed monsters that this card battled against to your field in attack mode, ignoring their summoning conditions. So basically, like if you battled against, let's say, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon with this card, and you destroyed it, and then if this card gets destroyed, you could summon the destroyed monster back to your field. Yeah. And now we move on to the spell cards, where this is the Portal Gun Dimension, or Portal Dimension, where this card, or you can select one monster from either player's banish zone, special summon it to your field, ignoring their summoning conditions. If you do, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent's life points. If your opponent activates a card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, negate that effect, and then banish it to the banish zone. So basically, Monster Reborn, but way more powerful. So then we got different dimensions, endless timelines. It's a field spell for this archetype. And yeah. All different dimension monsters gain this following effects for once per turn, even if this card leaves the field. This card can make 2 attacks per battle phases, once per turn. If this card, so first of all, this card allows your monsters to attack twice per battle phase. And once per turn. If your opponent, or no, if your different dimension monster battles a monster, you can banish one card from your graveyard to the banish zone. Special summon 2 tokens. Different dimensions tokens to your field in the defense mode. You can only use each effects of this card for once per turn. This card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects and cannot be destroyed by card effects. If you have any number of... So basically, if you have any cards in your banish zone, this card will be safe. As long as you have cards in your banish zone. And the tokens represents the different timeline versions. Now we got different dimensions King's Crown, where this card can, if this card is equipped to a monster, it gains this following effect for once per turn. All monsters your opponent controls must attack this card if able. But their effects are negated until and their attacks points lose 2,000. Like, they lost 2,000 points. And if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard. All battle damage or effect damage you would have taken becomes 0 until the end of the turn. So yeah. Now we move on to the trap card art hands, where if this card can only be activated if your opponent activates a field spell. You can banish one card from your graveyard to the banish zone. And then negate that field spell and banish it to the banish zone. If you do, then your opponent selects one spell card from their deck to be added to their hand. But next turn, their battle phase gets skipped until the end of the turn. If your opponent declares an attack while this card is in your banish zone or graveyard, you can shuffle this card into the deck, negate that attack, and then banish it to the banish zone. If you do, you gain 4,000 life points. So yeah, all these different dimensions except for this one. This is my because I'm currently working on a brand new like floor mat for myself called Paper Duel. Or Paper Boss Duel. And so I made this little guy. Zorbo, the Machine of Destruction. He's a dark level 12 machine effect monster where cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand or deck by tributing 3 monsters. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects, and you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Once per turn, you can select one monster from your opponent's deck to the graveyard. This card gains that monster's effects until the end of the turn. Once per turn, you can, when this card attacks, you can activate this effect. Discard all cards from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Then, if you do, this card can attack your opponent's life points directly. So, yeah. He might be busted by himself. Like, basically, you could send all of your opponent's cards from their hands to the graveyard to have this card attack your opponent's life points. Yeah. Now, this is just 5 monsters. Or 3 monsters. Or, no. 4 monsters, 1 spell. So let's start with the weakest one. Zuko, the young of the beastmen, or beast students. He's a light level 2 warrior, normal. Attack 300, defense 200, and his effect, or basically his flavor text is, this poor kid unluckily found the monster's base. He was trying to go home, but instead he found the monster's base. Before he escaped from one of the vampires, monsters, found him and brought him to the King of Monsters. So, what will happen next is up to the king. Then we got his sister, big sister, the Blizzard, the big sister of Beast students. She's a wind level 7 spellcaster effect monster with 2,600 attack, 2,800 defense. If you control no other monsters except for Beast Students monsters, you can special summon this card to your field without a tribute. If you control this guy, this card cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects, and your opponent's monsters must attack this card for an attack, like targets this card. And also, once per turn, during the main phase, it's a quick effect, you can target one other Beast Student monster you control that targeted gains 600 attack until the end of the turn. This card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. You take no battle damage involving this card. So she's basically the big sister to him. Now we move on to their middle sister before we move on. Tornado, the middle sister of the Beast Students. She's also wind level 7 spellcaster tuner effect monster. And if you control this card or one other Beast Student monster or one other on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand without a tribute. If you control like him, then she basically has the same attack thing, like all monsters your opponent controls must attack her if able. And And then, so during the battle phase, this card loses 1,000 attack points. I meant to say attack points. Destroy all cards from your opponent's shield to the graveyard. But their effects are negated until the end of the turn. If you do, this card gains 2,000 attack and defense. You can only use each effect of this card for once per turn. Now we're on to Monster Cells. This is an equip spell. It could only be equipped to him. Right here. And it gains 2,700 attack and defense. During the main phase 1, you can tribute the equipped monster to the graveyard. Fusion summon the fusion monster from your extra deck to your field in attack mode. But by using the equipped monster as a fusion material for it. You can only use each effects of this card for once per turn. And so this one is quite interesting. Zuko, the destroyer of the beast students. He's a dark level 8 monster. Beast Warrior Fusion Effect monster with 3,000 attack and 2,900 defense, and it takes 1 of this and plus 1 or more monsters, or fusion spell or fusion summon by the effects of Monster Cell card. This card its name is always treated as this on the field. This card attacks all monsters your opponent controls. This card is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, and this card cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Once per turn, you can select 1 Beast Student monster on the field, and it gains 2,000 attack and defense until the end of the turn. If this card is tributed and sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle 1 monster cell of the beast thing. So basically shuffle this and 1 this into the deck. From basically your graveyard or battle zone. Just special summon him to the field in attack mode. If you do, this card loses 500 attack until the end of the turn. So basically there's another spell card that I'm currently working on. Is that, so there's a story that I might be working on. Is that so this kid got challenged by his big sister and his middle sister to, like, whoever goes home, like, finds a quickest way to go home quick, then whoever goes home finds the quickest way, then the whoever has the quickest time would end up basically will be a boss for an entire week. So then, so his big sister and middle sister went to the right and left, or no, right and middle. He ended up going to the left, and that was a bad idea for him. Because he ended up basically went to the One Punch Man like Monsters Association. And he was about to escape, but then a certain vampire came out of nowhere, brought him to the king, and yeah, the king forced him to eat some monster cells, and then he becomes like this big, buffed up man. And that's why this spell card is that turns him from weakling to a big buff guy. I also was gonna make his girlfriend Diaz, D-O-S. And I'm not gonna show the picture of her because she was way too much. So yeah. And the reason why that both of his sisters protects him is that usually it's big sisters usually protect their little brother from it. So yeah. That's why if you had like him on a field with her and her, then your opponent can't not attack both monsters. Plus, when you activate this, he becomes this. So yeah. But he still obtains his normal name. So yeah. So if you guys want me to do that storyline, I'll happily to do it. But now it is time for me to take a nap. So bye.